Okay, part two. Playback Moses. Bring them flowers, white as your hair, black roses. Everything. Everything. Okay, hopefully that you guys can hear me. Okay, you can hear me now. Cool. Cause you are black. Yeah. You could hear you last time. Some people say they couldn't hear me, so. We're doing an anthem. Yeah, we're gonna get it in. I have a lady by the name of Chanel. I believe she wanted to talk about something. Not exactly sure. I know she told me, but like I got some shit going on, and I've been super tired. So yeah, I'm glad you could hear me. So anyway, the topic is I don't really have a topic, fam. That's what I said was talk about it. I got like I said, this lady named Chanel who wanted to talk about something. I'm not exactly sure, so that's why I just put the title as Let's Talk About It. I know her from here, so yeah, maybe she's going to pop in a second, and then we could talk about something. But anyway, man, have you guys been seeing this bullshit lately on the news? Have you been seeing these crazy-ass injections, or is it just me? Now, I'm not saying that the virus is not real. But I am going to say this shit look hella sketchy. I'm still waiting for Obama and Bush and all of them to go ahead and get those shots, Because anytime you see presidents getting on camera and not even knowing the outcome of these shots because they haven't been tested for a long time. And I'm not saying not to get them. I'm just saying I just find it crazy. That's it. I find it crazy that that these people are jumping on live television in order to convince the public that this is safe. Now, did anybody see what's his name, the Israeli prime minister? How he took a needle, but the doctor didn't wear no gloves. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I've never seen a doctor give an injection without wearing gloves. Or is it just me? Is it just me? Am I the one tripping? I know y'all saw that, right? And once again, please, by all means, I'm not saying do not take vaccinations. I am saying, are you seeing what's going on television? When Biden got his ejection and all that stuff like that, that was really interesting. I was just thinking to myself, okay. So Kamala's probably going to be president. I'm just saying. I believe Kamala's going to be president. It's going to be some weird shit happen or something like that. Do you think 5G affects humans and should be considered a COVID-19 false flag? Wow. You said a handful on that one. Do you think 5G affects humans and should be considered a COVID-19 false flag? Listen. There's something going around. The name is COVID-19. I don't doubt that. Now, the thing that bothers me the most is what's the outcome for all the businesses and all the people. They can inject money. They can inject whatever they want into the economy. I mean, money is just created and made, for Christ's sakes. Anybody could be a millionaire. They just print it up and all of a sudden you have money. They put a price tag on things that are actually free. So back to your question, 5G, I mean, what happened when there was 3G? Did the same thing happen when 3G came out? 4G came out? I mean, so I feel like we got to research history because history always have certain patterns. And I mean, you just don't know, man. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I've never seen the direct effects of what happened with 5G. I heard about it. The same thing with COVID. I don't know anybody who had it. I heard my auntie had it, and then she was okay, no problem. But I also heard people caught the flu and the pneumonia. And sometimes they tend to pass away, and sometimes they don't. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm not sure where this lady is. Let me see if I can find her. She needs to hit me up if she wants to come on here, but I do not see her. I seriously don't see her. Um, I'm not sure what your name is, man. My bad. But if you're coming on live, man, you need to go ahead and tap in. Yo, Mo, hey, come on here, man. I've been trying to get my dude on here for a minute. Let me try to get Mo on here. Maybe he's gonna accept or maybe not. So this is my guy over in. He's in Egypt right now. I think he's in Egypt or he's over here in Europe.
Hey, how
Yo,
are you?
what's up, brother? What's up? How you doing?
How are you, man?
Yeah, you in Egypt. I
Everything
can tell
good?
by the windows.
Yeah, man, I'm in Egypt right now. Come on, you need to come by, man. Come
Man, I
by,
know,
man. We're
man.
waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to come back though, bro, man. Hey, yo, hey, it's getting crazy over here. You guys are lucky to leave. So what's going over in Egypt? What happened like when you got back? Did they ask you guys to get shots or whatever so forth or nah? What's going on in Egypt?
No, no, nobody asked us to take any shots or anything. They asked us, in order to enter Egypt, we need to be PCR negative, and that's about it. But related to the vaccines and stuff, it all got cancelled because the vaccines that were sent, it was
Could
Chinese vaccines. And China
Wow, no
itself,
way.
they bought from Pfizer, bro. So basically, they gave us some like shit
Of
vaccines,
course.
and they admitted that it's shit vaccines because they bought from Pfizer themselves, you know.
Wait, the Chinese
So
admitted it or
basically,
was
they're treating us like lab rats or some
Yeah,
type
man.
of shit. You know?
That's crazy. What they said this on the news over there.
Yeah. And over here as well, they announced that there was a vaccination protocol going to take place, but it all got canceled when China bought themselves 100 million vaccinations for from Pfizer. So
Wow.
if you guys buy from Pfizer, why are you sending us this shit? You know what I mean? So we canceled the vaccination protocol, and I think it's for the good.
Wow. Hey man, I'm happy to hear that that they're standing up and saying, "Hey, we're going to take care of our people somewhat." I mean, not all governments are perfect by any means, but for them to back out and say, "No, we're not taking this shit," because a lot of countries tend to take the money, or is it just me? They want the money. Most countries
It's
they want the money.
yeah. All from what I'm feeling is that we're being somehow pressured to buy this Pfizer vaccine some way or another. You know.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. That's really crazy, man. Why is your internet so good, by the way? Because in Egypt, man, sometimes the internet's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's lagging and it spikes. I was having problems watching your stream without spikes, but when we're talking, it's different. I don't know, but it's good. Can you hear me well and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were like really clear right for a second. I mean, it's like a little bouncy right now, but it was like really clear.
Yeah, spike.
Yeah, they
All right,
spike.
man. It was really nice talking to you, and I really miss you, man. You should come over,
Yeah,
and I would
bro.
like to
How long you
too,
there
bro.
for? Hey, how long you gonna be there for in Egypt?
I think a month
For a
at
month?
least.
Okay. All right. Look. Before you go, what's real quick? I like to bounce everywhere, but before you go, let's just say this. Guys, I talked to him a lot about ancient Kemet, aka Egypt. We always talk about the people there, and we both agreed that there was brown and black people in the same facility. Like it was ruled by brown and black
Agree. Yeah.
people. So we both agree on the same thing, right? Now, what do you think?
Yes, we do agree, bro.
So when people, I had somebody tell me this. I want you to check this out. A guy told me, this is for reals. He said that the Egyptians, pharaohs, were redhead and that they were white. He said that.
Bro, come on. This is just speculations, bro. They
He
can
said he was
speculate,
taught
but
this in school. He was taught this in
originally
school. He said that a
he
teacher,
was taught this. Which school is this?
he said he went to a
Where
school.
where is he from?
He's from the States. It was a white guy. And he said that they took DNA and proved that all the pharaohs were white and had red hair. And I was like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, man. He was like, the Egyptians, the people.
That's some bullshit.
Man, you saw the mummies with your eyes. You
I
saw
saw the
With
mummies.
your own eyes.
Yeah, I saw them. And so
So
and I asked him, I was like, wait,
I
have
don't
you,
know.
what'd you say?
like those people leave us speechless because like you came with your own self to Egypt to see
Yeah.
how we saw together the origin of everything, you
Yeah,
see.
man.
So white people will tend to say Jesus is white, everything is white, you know what I mean? Everyone is white to them, you know.
Any
We
civilized
we as black people or Africans, or we don't exist to them. They think that they are the source of existence, and they know the truth.
No, but wait, look, you're gonna be shocked for this one. There was a very Europeanish Egyptian girl, not on my vlog, but on a different vlog. And it blew my mind. Like she's like from Egypt, but she went to like the foreign schools. She like speaks Korean, and she's like really like white skinned European, right? And she's telling me, she said the Egyptians were Greeks and Romans. It's like some crazy shit coming from a girl that lives there. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what type of brainwashing are you under that you like? When did you ever see that with your own bare eyes that these people were Greeks and Romans? Like you said, I was there too. I didn't get to see everything, but I spent damn sure 8-9 hours with my girl in Cairo, and there was a small section, like a row that was from the Greeks and the Romans, and they made sure to make their sarcophagus look white, European. They literally made sure to make it look
True.
different.
True.
And that blew my
It's
mind
true, yeah.
because they made sure to make them look like they were trying to be Egyptian, or AKA Kemetic or Kemet, whatever you want to call it. That's what it looked like to me. All the people that were Greeks and Romans, it was really weird because they made, like I said, the
But that,
sarcophagus
that,
was
that
white.
doesn't mean that they were, though.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
were.
mean?
Yeah, they even had Greek writing on some of the sarcophagus that looked like the other people of Kemet, but they made sure to make it white, and it looked Greek. It looked Roman, which was very, very interesting because it's like it stood out to me the most. And like I said, it was an itty bitty little section that they left. So it just blew my mind, man. I think, people are just weird from all
Man, I'm
backgrounds,
sorry, but
races.
I can't hear you when the internet
Oh, the internet. Okay.
sucks here a bit.
Okay, brother. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna talk to you
I'm
later.
gonna
Then.
let you, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep watching the live for anyone who wants to join after me. I'll watch you.
Okay, family. I'm gonna talk to you later.
All
Then.
right, man. I'll see you
Peace,
soon,
brother.
bro.
Yeah, see you soon, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Take care, man.
Yeah, later, man. Wait. Hey, yo, Baba. Wait, hold on, man. Did you just say all yoga is satanic? Oh, man. You got me on one on that one. Whoa. That's crazy, fam. I got to hear that one. Okay, let me go ahead and jump on the next one real quick, man. I was waiting for this lady, but she still didn't show up, but I love jumping in and out of conversation with people, so it's all good. This is Dance for Me. They sent me a request to go live, so we're going to see if they could tap in. So, hey, guys, for all the people that were wondering about what a lot of the people of Egypt look like, fam, I guarantee you it's not what you think it is. If you've been there, you would never say that the people of Kemet were European, except for when they were invaded. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, just chilling, you know what I'm saying? How you doing? Where you at? Where you from?
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Why did I know you were from not Long Island, but I figured you were from New York for some strange reason.
Where are you from? I finally caught you live. I love your videos, and I've been trying to catch you live.
Thank you, man. Did you send me a DM? Because sometimes I just tell people DM me.
Sometimes
or
if I probably try to send you something, but I don't know. I try to send people stuff all the time, but I know how it is. People's DMs get lost all the time.
My bad. I know somebody else was supposed to come on too. That DM me, and they wanted to call me, and I'm like, just save it for the live. A lot of times I get I get familiar with people like yourself very easily when you catch me on live like this. Then for sure I'm like really looking out for you. And you know, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the live. You know, by the way, if you guys send me DMs, I do answer them. It's not a problem. Just to mention this is that sometimes don't forget that I'm like working and you know, being creative. Sometimes it draws a lot of your energy too. You know,
Right.
and you know how it is if you're an artist or you create or you paint or you draw and you're doing things, your brain is like almost everywhere. And I'm trying to improve. And, you know, I really want to make this, you know, something that that I could succeed off of, because I really want to show people like yourself and other people like my journeys, like when I'm traveling. My whole idea really is to move back over to Africa with my girl, to Kemet, Upper Egypt, and to a place called Aswan. And I want to do lives and stories from there because I don't know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I'm starting over and I want to learn with people in the process, but I'd rather be there. I tell you the story while I'm there. So we could see it together, get the information together, meet locals, you know, so that's what I'm in the process of doing, you know, and also I've been in the process of trying to figure out how can I grow far as in to make money so that I can make this happen, you know. But none of this stuff is clicking because I'm trying to keep everything organic. You know, people are like, oh, monetize and do this. But then I don't want to do that. I want to do something that's going to make it much more poetically just. You know, like I'd never incorporate my music. You know, most people don't even know I was a music artist first. So I'm taking way too long because with Corona, you just never know. Anyway, enough about me. Tell me about you. Tell me what your thoughts about what's going on in the world in New York. You could talk about COVID, your life. Please, man. Take us into your world.
One more thing. Well,
Sure.
you just said that you don't know how to make it all wrap together. Maybe there's just one more thing that you just need to experience, you know, just so you can get the ball rolling. You know, there's always that. Like, I can basically tell you that all my life I danced. And then all of a sudden, like, I was in a relationship and then it was so toxic. I was such on low vibration. I wasn't even dancing anymore. My body was hurting so bad. Now, it got to a point where I got to my spiritual awakening, and I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be dancing anymore, because, you know, once you awaken to certain things, it's just like, I know, and I'm just like, it's all distractions. Like, what is going on? I realized that I had to learn that sacred geometry for me to continue my artistic movements. I realized I had to learn other certain things within the universe in order for me to go forward and, you know, go about my artistic venture. So it's more than, you know, just making things wrap together, but, you know, continuing to learn every day. So just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, true. Every day is a life lesson.
Yeah, I always give people advice. I don't know. That's just my thing. Well, I've read tarot to a lot of people, and I've kind of chilled out on that ever since, like, you know, a lot of the energies have been kind of wild since March 21st, which is spring equinox. I've left it alone a lot because people's energies were kind of turning into like a vampire succubus energy. I don't know if you have like realized that since the coronavirus. I feel like it's kind of like brought people like real colors out. Like you can see people's auras even if you really can't see through spiritually.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can feel the energy that's all around. Yeah, it's like people say it's a transition, and that I heard people say, oh, you know, this is like going to be the end of time because the calendar was wrong and this is 2012. And no offense to anybody who believes that something was going to happen December 21st, but I'm going to tell you this. Maybe it was a spiritual shift, but as far as the people that were like, oh my God, like, you know, the Most High is coming back or blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say, I told you. A lot of people was like, oh, things are going to change and this and this. I said, okay, spiritual wise, I could see this, right? But in the physical, I said nothing's going to change. It's going to be another day. Something else is going to happen. The news is going to be dominating the airwaves, you know, putting people in the low frequency. Everything is toxic from the news. And most of the stuff that they tell you, you don't know whether to believe or not because you catch them in lies. Now, it would be nice if like Facebook was fact checking them as well, like they did the president.
Well, we all know why they're not going to fact check the other side, but in reality of it all, it's all crumbling, and people see it. It's like, I don't know if anybody watched Avatar. Have you watched Avatar before?
Mm.
Black Panther? It's like
What?
when they went.
Which one? The one with the little Asian kid, or
Yes,
the European Asian? Well, whatever he was supposed to be.
not the Legend of Korra. The very first one. The Last Airbender, the cartoon one. When they went into Boston and they had encountered the Asian woman who was kind of like, nothing's going on here, everything is good, and Boston say nothing's happening. Like, that's literally what's happening right here on Earth right now. We're literally the cosmic show, and I really feel like I was recording. Sorry, I'm an Aquarius. I kind of get thrown off, but
No, please, no problem.
I was recording the sun. Yes, Niebuhr was here. Cause listen, she's on it. Yo, I was recording the sun earlier, and it's literally like they're trying to keep us grounded as much as possible, like in that toxic energy, no matter if you're high vibrational or not, because, you know, as much as we are like light workers, they want us to get like, oh, help this person, because they know that we have no other way. But I feel like right now we're being called to just fall back, even though they're saying that nothing's going on here. There's a big show about to happen. Like, if you just have to look up in the sky. Like, it's literally crazy. Like, I don't know if they spray your skies. I don't know if I can turn this around.
Nah, for sure they'd be spraying.
They spray my skies, like, a lot. Like, if you, right here, this is where the sun is. I'm going to show you guys. And it's always cloudy over the sun. Over the last couple of days, especially since the 14th, like 7 days before the 21st, the sky has been horribly cloudy, and they're trying to keep us confused. But in reality, it's something happening within our mitochondrial DNA, and that's what they don't want you to know. Do you know about that whole thing within the whole shot and how they're trying to change the mRNA?
Oh yeah, this was. Did you see the Israeli president get the shot on the news? And he had the doctor had no gloves on.
None of them got the shot. Even when Stinky, I don't like to say his name because I've literally been banned on everything. Like, they shadow banned me on everything. So I have his name, Stinky Ouchie. You guys should know who I'm talking about. And it's more of a thing, like, they all got the shot on TV, but they already had a Band-Aid on their arm, and the guy pulls the injection back and then pushes it back in, but then he pulls it back again and then puts it into their arm and then puts it in. I'm just like, wait a second. No, 1 second. All right. So it's like somebody who doesn't believe, such as my mom, my aunt who just came up, they're the ones who pointed this out to me. Like, okay, did you see that? I'm just like, no, because I don't watch the news. And I'm just like, they're just like, okay, well, something's up. I don't want to get this because it looks like they didn't even get it. I'm just like, they didn't. I just feel like they're giving people placebos. If you know anything about science, something in reality, that's basically like, that's what they're basically doing. They're trying to lock our DNA. Yes. So it breaks down to simple science that how we have like 98% of junk DNA within our DNA makeup. DNA, our mRNA, we have two different kinds of DNA strands intertwined that makes one. And because 98% of it is locked, it's not that it's actually locked. It's just that they can't see into it. They don't have the eye for it. Just like how spiritual side is not seen. It's more of the constellations moving into place, and that is what's unlocking our DNA. Just like in the time of the Egyptians back in Leo. So they were under a certain star constellation, and because they were under a star constellation, their DNA was awakened to certain powers. So this is why when we're moving into the age of Aquarius, they're saying powers. Yes, Black people did get their power back. But Black people are saying, oh, we want powers. No, we got our power back. You understand that?
What's even more interesting about what you're saying is what I've been noticing is that in this generation, like in my generation, maybe it was a little bit different because I'm 40 years old. I've been traveling the world. And so I got to experience two things that I noticed. In my generation, I started to see people wake up. When I was like 14, 15, actually even 13, I was already in the process of waking up even then. And I was already questioning like the authenticity of the Bible, you know, of religions and people. And my mom would even tell you that she thought I was crazy. My mom thought that I was going to join a cult because I kept raising questions of things that just doesn't make sense, you know. And this is at an early age. I was already doing this. And what I realize now is that, you know, how people say you're ahead of your time, but obviously there was people way before me, masters, grandmasters, Dr. Henry Clark. Some people think Bobby Hemmett is crazy, but they all dropped serious knowledge. Phil Valentine and Ashra Kwesi and Anthony Broder, and just a whole list of people that was really dropping jewels for a very long time that maybe my mom and them thought was crazy. But these people weren't crazy. They were trying to wake people up. And now what I see now in this next generation and another generation that's coming is that the people, they don't trust the government, they don't trust religion, and they're questioning everything, and they're searching within. They're looking for correct answers. And that right there gives me a lot of hope and trust that it's going to be a lot of us that take, like you said, that will get our power back, and people that will not just take information, give it to them without doing the research. Because one thing I say, I don't mind being wrong. You know, that's one thing, because I can research. But when you claim something is correct and somebody challenges you with information and you say it's wrong without even looking at the facts, then something's wrong with you. Because you should be able to dish information and be like, okay, let me see if they're correct, instead of saying this is absolute truth. You know, like Dr. Henry Clark said, if you believe in the Bible, then I will have to question the intelligence of the person that believes in the Bible. Not saying that you're stupid, but it's allegories, it's parables. And a lot of the stuff is not consistent. So you can't say God wrote something inconsistent. That doesn't make sense. And then, you know, with all the stuff that's in the Bible, when it's talking about slaves and slave owners, the Bible really is basically saying slavery is okay. It really basically is saying slavery was okay because people have masters. A woman had a master. A master could own other slaves of the house. There was child marriages going on. There was incest going on. So you're sitting here and you're like, wait a minute, we got R. Kelly in jail and all these other people in jail, but the Bible was saying the shit is okay. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to pick and choose and say, oh, well, that's the Old Testament, but God came back and then made a New Testament? Man, if you don't, man, does that make any sense?
Yeah, but then you have to go into the law of attraction, the law of one. You have to go into to duality when you talk about those type of, because everything is this and everything is that. Everything is everything and everything is nothing. So it's more that God knew everything that they were going to do before that they were going to do it. He, being an Aquarius, and I swear, this is why I'm not saying that I don't have any friends, because I have a lot of friends, but none of my friends would ever understand me, I would say, because you have everything in this duality. And me understanding everything in this duality is saying that I know that you can't be solid at 100% of the time. I know that everybody has demons. I know people have family ancestral karma and baggage. I know people have all those things. And my thing is, so did God. So did God. And God knew that people would get frustrated. God knew that people would turn to something entirely else, because that's what people do. When people are testing something, guess what you do? If that doesn't work, you go to something else. But that's testing the waters, and that's basically what he talks about in the Bible too. A lot of people are going to test the waters. He knew people were going to the dark side, but he gave everybody a choice. And that's the one thing I tell my family all the time. Everybody has choice.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, let me cut you off. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I'm almost done. It's like, basically, it's like, what you call it? Everybody has a choice. And within that, I just feel like God literally knew within whatever that they were going to do. So let's just say the Bible. Even though, let's just say that he didn't write it, which he didn't, because I can say, because I am very connected, he put his hand in everything, though, if that makes sense. No matter how much they try to make something evil, and they try to tap into that dark force, God was still always there. So you have an idea, you hear your conscience talk to you. Okay, what do I do today? Let's get breakfast. Let's go exercise. Let's go shopping. God throws something in there that's kind of disguised as your voice, or you thinking so fast, you don't hear the difference of the frequency of what just talked to you. And that's another idea right there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like in the dark side and the duality of it, them thinking that they're trying to manipulate us in what we think is a good way always backfires on them, because they don't know that they know God is the most powerful thing ever. And even if people don't believe in God, I understand there is that entity, the Most High, Jah, Judah, whatever you want to call it, that overpower. And there are other powers that sit with that one power, but being that, they know the oneness. So that's what they're recognized as. It's not as I'm God and I'm the powerful, the mighty. I feel like maybe Satan had a spot in their seats, but maybe he failed the freaking test. I don't know. I'm not there. So, we're here on earth. We're just assuming. I just like to keep it. I don't know.
But when you let me answer somebody real quick, and I'm gonna get back to you. Just real quick, for J Mac with cheese, you say that was our punishment was slavery. That's not a fact. Slavery had nothing to do with Black people's punishment whatsoever, because they're still doing it all across the world. And let me explain one thing. When you say slavery was our punishment and you're aligning the Bible with what happened with slaves being taken out of Africa, taken to the Americas and across the world, you're not acknowledging the 1,000-year Arab slave trade that happened in Africa that is not mentioned in the Bible. So you mean to tell me God waited for Europeans to come, and then suddenly this became our story? Meanwhile, the slave trade, the Arab slave trade, still happens right now in Africa. Right now in Africa, it still happens, and we're holding on to a 400-year-old story. But when I ask people that love the Bible, and I'm not knocking you, I ask you about real African history, or AKA Alkebulan history, you don't know. But you're going to give me Timothy and Matthew and all these European Greek names and talk about Egypt being pagan when the people that wrote the very Bible were pagans. Come on now, we got to talk about it for a second. Most of the names are translated to Greek. So you mean to tell me the Greeks and the Romans suddenly got a heart and they're just going to divulge information to you? Like suddenly they just gave you the truth? Meanwhile, priests are still, we don't need to mention what happens at the Vatican, what happens in the church, let alone. We don't need to mention the tides that go around every 5 minutes to support a preacher. Not saying all preachers, but we do know, because we all been in church, where that collection plate comes around 15 times. Like, I don't know, maybe some of you believe in talking in tongues and the Holy Ghost, but when I hear that shit sounds evil. I don't play like talking in tongues in the book of the Bible. That stuff is evil to me. I don't care what you say. That's evil and it's fake. Talking in tongues is fake. That shit is made up. That's just like, bro, if you're a Bible person, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry just to cut you off, but they have mixed so much of the things that have happened in Rome from like right around the time of Caesar Borgia, the person that's supposed to be Jesus. Yeah. But even Jesus is a spirit, it's not Jesus and who they materialize. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like all their wickedness and their demons, they just try to keep it, and everything is about grounding it and keeping us here on this 3D earth and plane. They just mixed and intertwined everything. They threw everything into the cup. They threw everything into the Holy Grail and tainted it. That was no. When you go back to the Roman Empire, just like how you were saying, there was no woman and guys that were staying together. They were like having a mating season. That's what Easter was. That's when guys stayed with their wives.
Yeah, Ishtar.
And then after that, guys would fuck with guys all year long. So it's just
the Greeks were known for that. The Greeks were known as boy lovers. This is a fact. They were known as boy lovers. This is not like I'm making it up. You can read it for yourself. But they were known as boy lovers. They love little boys. And if you come to Europe and you go to certain places, you will always see like a little naked little boy, sometimes on churches or wherever, so forth. You'll see naked little boys all the time. So, I mean, listen, man, I'm not trying to knock your religion. Maybe sometimes I do. People ask why. I say I grew up a Christian. I don't know a lot about Islam, so I can't really always go into Islam. I grew up a Christian, and I'm just talking about things that I noticed from church that doesn't make any sense. Well, some of the first slave ships to hit Africa had the name Jesus. Wasn't it the good ship of Jesus or whatever, so forth? Now, I may not be accurate about the exact title, but the ships were named. Wait, I got, hold on. Slave ships, hold on. Name, Jesus. Hold on, I tell you. Oh, Jesus of Lübeck or Lübeck, whatever. It was built in the free city of Lübeck. I probably butchered the name, in the 16th century, around 1540. Amazingly enough, 1500 something is the same time when the letter J was invented. So that's where the whole Jesus come from, because the letter J was invented around 1540 or 1524, right?
But so that's the thing. I'm sorry to cut you off right there.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please, by all means.
They right there, they created a whole nother being. They created a whole nother being right there in itself, because if you go back to the Egyptian text, there is that same being, and I don't know the person's name. I don't want to get it wrong either. I'm not going to guess or say it, but there is the same storyline. There is the same person with the halo depicted as the son that was born from Ra, or from God, or whoever it was that was from back then. So you have to like look at it like what they're doing. They're inserting people into the timelines. Mm-hmm. Because time is very ever fluent, and they know that, because time isn't real, but it is real. So that's another thing of duality. You have to, everything is freaking duality. When you look, you can literally jump, because we're in the age of Aquarius since 2012. Okay, from 2012, I remember the sky being purple. Some people don't, some people do. Some people went to the shift, and some people heard the trumpet, some people didn't. But you gotta think about it. You go back to it. That was the age of Aquarius. That was the beginning. From 2160 years. Okay, so 2160 years. The energy of Pisces was that long before that. So they only had made up the Jesus character, like you said, 1500 years before that. What happens to the other 1000 years before that? You understand what I'm saying? So what happened to that energy? What were they teaching people in that time? What were they trying to concoct? What are they doing right now into the age of Aquarius that we have to, pay attention for? Because they're making something up. They're going to make up a new something, if that makes sense. That's what we have to be aware of, because this is where it goes into spirituality as well. How you look at spirituality.
Yeah, people look at spirituality. I mean, like, I had this conversation with this brother. I really want to get on here one day. And he's a Muslim brother, and we were talking about the difference between spirituality and religion. And he said something to me, and at first it took me a minute for it to click. But, like I said, I'm always open to information. I'm a very accepting person to different ideas. I have no problem with that. But he said, well, spirituality, you need to have spirituality before you have religion. And it took me a second. I said, huh? And then I was like, yeah, that does make sense. You need to have spirituality first. Religion, because I told him religion was man-made. And he said, well, spirituality came first anyway. So even though there's a religions, but the spirituality was the major aspect, because to me, when I think of religions, I told him, to me, a religion is a gang. I mean, what's the definition of a gang? I don't mean like Crips and Bloods, but if you have a group of people, that would be considered a gang. So when you get, yeah, right or no, it's a gang. So, when I look at individuals, per se, and they're like really trying to push their, how can I say, their religion on you instead of pushing spirituality, then that's like saying, hey, yo, Joy, come on, join the Crip gang. Come join a Blood gang or GD, folks. That's what it feels like, You say it's not a gang, but the definition of a gang, if you know what a group of people, it is a gang. By definition, being in a religion, an association of a group of people is a gang.
But that's them trying to make a way of life instead of trying to incorporate the way of life, like the Fibonacci sequence. You understand? Like the Fibonacci is within everything, like a C-shape or like a honeycomb or like a planting. Like when you literally, or the way the houses are even set up, people don't unconsciously set up the way things are built, or even the pyramids. You have to just think about how not you. That's just the way I talk, because some people.
No worries. Go ahead.
There is them making that whole construct. They're building that construct, and they want people to follow it. They want people to, give it energy. That is like basically what 2020 has been built on. And they thought, I feel like they think the age of Aquarius, because billionaires know astrology, I feel like they think the age of Aquarius started in 2020. And this is why all of these energetic events had to happen. Look, all the deaths. But my spirit guides, God just told me, don't put your energy into it at all. Don't pay attention. Don't pay attention. Don't even pretend that you're even in this world. You're living in a fabulous island, because at the end of the day, they're siphoning the hell out of that energy to create something else. They're creating something else. They're trying to be a creator when they're not the creator. And that just all goes back to like CERN, and that goes back to these portals they're trying to open up, and the equinoxes being in certain places, and what do you call it? They're trying to follow the path of they're trying to make a path of creation when they're only following the path of the creator. So I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. Like it all wraps up right back into the same thing, and they're going to fall right back into their trap. Like everything is written. Like even if it's not all written within the Bible, it's broken down within different spaces, different denominations, let me say. Because I said,
go ahead. No, finish, please.
Let me just finish the sentence. It's just like he put everything into like the Bible and into the Quran and into the Talmud and into the I'm not sure what Hindus would use as their book. So everything is basically broken down for you to understand that. That's for you. Like the sky is so big that the Bible is a test of astrology. Everything is astrology in the Bible, but it's for those who can decode it. Like everything is for you to decode it. Every person who's in the Bible is a star in the sky. Everything, every event that happens.
Yeah, it's astrology. Yeah, true.
Is astrology.
Yeah, it's astrology. But you can't. Okay, but then if you know it's astrology, then how can one believe that everything that's in the Bible is real? Do you believe everything is real, or you believe it's just in parables?
No, it's in parables. I feel like there are fillers, just like in every other story. You got to keep something. I feel like God was just bored sometimes. I mean, he is a creator, and as a creator, you do get bored sometimes. And let me just say, the dancer, I feel four counts with a walk sometimes. So maybe he just walked over that part and let them fill it in.
Well, have you ever thought, like, for a second, like, the Most High, right? When people say that he created
us, we are the Most High.
The creators, or your mother, or thy father, are creators, right?
You are the Most High.
Right. Are we not all the Most High? If we see, this is the thing. Most people, they're not ready for that type of conversation, because a lot of people will believe that, this is, satanic talk. But meanwhile, people are not even living a pure life anyway. That could be also a satanic life,
Well,
Antichrist, whatever, so forth.
Let me break it down for them. Well, in science, we have cells, and in our body, in our cellular makeup, we have, in this little part of our skin, there's probably about 25 million cells right here alone. And if you can imagine that I am God, there's 25 billion people sitting right here in my hand. Like, that's just how the makeup is. But then if you look at I can't even get into that. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no,
It's
no. But that was
it's too,
good though. A friend of mine was talking about this, and people were making fun of him, but they were not ready for that type of conversation.
because
Because
it's made up. This is how our continents are made up. We go back to the giants within the which age? Leo. Uh, what's after that? No, this way. In Cancer, I believe when Mars and Earth had their collision, when Gaia and Gaia and Mars had their collision, where the Grand Canyons both meet up because they have a Grand Canyon and the Grand Canyon there. That's when the giants, because I speak about when we had powers in Egypt, but when you go to Cancer, that's when the giants were here. But then they came back. That's when they're lesser evil twins, because there were original giants here in the beginning who moved certain things everywhere. Those giants, when they fell because they became too powerful and they were breeding too quickly, and because this was a Earth for the humans, where they had their own realm to go to, but yet they wanted to stay here because it was such a perfect realm. They were doing a job for us. Let me just say that. And some of them died here on Earth, and some of them became the mountains. Some of the biggest sea turtles became continents. Like it's mad weird. There's bones. People find crystals, but they're actually blood samples. They're actually bone marrow samples. How can a big crystal cave that looks like an artery, let me tell you, come out as a blood sample? And it's coming out from samples from I just visualize, the timeline that they show us that has the green and the orange with the different thousands of years that goes back.
right.
Purple. Since the beginning of time. They just showed me that kind of I don't know. I'm a visual interpreter. Like they basically just showed me like they're getting samples from people from the beginning of time. Yes, there's carbon dating. I was listening to something about carbon dating. It was just like how they can only go back 50,000 years with carbon dating, but they only tell us certain things. They have technology for everything. Trust me. The smarter that they got, the smarter the AI got, and the smarter the AI got, they could have built things that we had no clue about. And they're still not going to let us know because we're still 40 years in the past. I don't know.
Probably even more by now, to be honest with you. You never know. We could be like way further down, especially when it comes to the military, between maybe 50 to 100 years.
But the past is the future, and the future is the present.
Sometimes I believe that we're living in the past. I said this before. I said that it feels like that we're living in the past. And the reason why they're ahead, overlapping timelines.
It's going like this. Like they're basically like, because we're so caught up back in the past, but we're catching up so quickly, the timelines are like literally trying to pass each other, but they're like pulling back and like going like this right now. And this is why the poles are shifting and everything is aligning, and everything is
I got something to ask you. I'm going to switch the topic just for a second. Why is it that the Bible tends to play such a major role in people's lives, but not actual history? Now, like I said, like a lot of people, once again, will talk about the Bible, especially when it comes to people that are like, in the faith, and they'll drop all these names and whatever, so forth, but they can't tell you nothing about an indigenous tribe out of Africa. Matter of fact, barely any indigenous tribes in America, except for ones they may have heard throughout their life, Chippewa or Blackfoot, but everything about the indigenous is not important. The Bible certainly becomes history, and this is not the facts. So I just wanted to say this, and then on top of this, I'm bothered because I also have indigenous blood, Native American. Indigenous could be melanated or indigenous as in Native American. So we have that both in my family, just 100% facts. And I would just say African. I like being just African, but I know the other side that we have the indigenous. And I sit back and I say, the Mexicans, the indigenous people of the land, 150 million people, men, women, children, were massacred massacred. Not just there either, but all throughout the South Americas and Europe. Like I've mentioned this before, where the English were, taking Irish people, doing the same damn thing to Irish, Scottish, and all these people. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why would God let all this stuff happen? I don't say God doesn't exist, but I want you to tell me, why would God let that happen? People just minding their own business, maybe an occasional war here or two. They were not destroying the earth, nothing. Farmers. But God sends people to come in the name of Jesus. They come in the name of Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm not saying God, but they came in the name of Jesus with their priest, right? And as massacres happen, they will say a prayer. Just like when Anthony Broder was bringing up the fact that all the slave castles that they have throughout Ghana or whatever, so forth, had a church on the inside of them. If you go there right now, they have churches on the inside of them. So how were you a Christian in Africa before you left? How were you an Israelite before you left? It doesn't add up, especially when you look at the tribes that were a lot of the times noted where they came from. A lot of the times you could get some type of manifest noting where they came from, who they were. And when you look at the tribes themselves, scratch the religion, look at the tribes themselves, look at the artwork. I mean, they got artwork dating back from the 1500s as well. From all these tribes, it's not a nair, not a cross, not a nair face that looks like Yahshua, not a nair nothing. Not a nair nothing. How is this? This doesn't make sense.
I love it.
But then think, my last part. And then you're going to tell me, after being enslaved and being beaten and the men raped in front of their whole families, mothers and fathers laying with children to produce more slaves, and they give you a church and a boule to keep all the Negroes in check by preaching the word of God, letting them know that he's going to come soon and save you from this. No matter how many times you prayed, it still went on. But you deserve that. Peep it out. You deserve that. Meanwhile, the people that massacred hundreds of millions of people, raped women, children, whatever, so forth, oh, they're going to get theirs one day. Man, it's 500 years later. And I'm not saying this from a racist point of view. I'm just saying, think about this. First, the Arab slave trade, that was 1,000 years, right? Then you got the wars. When people want to say black people, I would be the first to tell you, black people were selling prisoners of war. They were taking their enemies and selling them for alcohol and rum and whatever so forth. They sold prisoners of war. And as it went on, they would kidnap people so they could exchange with the Europeans, guns and rum. Guns, rum, and whatever so forth. Mm-hmm. So I'm always shocked that we could sit, man, I'm telling you, I get goosebumps when I see a black church or a Mexican church, and this is no offense to my European brothers and sisters. If you know me, you know I don't mean it like that. But I'm just talking facts, that you can have a black church and you will see a lot of them still will have a European Jesus on the wall. And matter of fact, they even still call him Jesus. Just like when your ancestors were slaves and getting their brains beat in, raped and savagely murdered, hung, ripped apart by dogs in the name of Jesus.
Like I say, just real quick, they have materialized Jesus. But in reality, our ancestors knew we couldn't speak certain things. And this is why the Igbo tribe in Africa is the longest standing tribe of Judah. The real Israelites of the 12 tribes, they're the longest standing tribe because they didn't speak certain things. Jesus' name was not to be spoken. His name was a frequency, just like most of our names. My name is Ani, but my other name is a frequency that I don't speak on earth. And it's within that, like, it's God doesn't speak within, it's like music. I don't know how else to put it. Like, certain things are tunes to the universe, and we are not meant to see it at all times. Like, there's UV and radiation pouring down the planet right now because our ozone layer is about this thin, but we can't see it. If we did see it, we would be freaking out, but that's just the way that he built it. She built it. We built it. You understand? So going back to how you're saying that in the beginning with the Bible, how all this works out, let me just put this together. What was I saying? When you go to, think about like those movies where you see like the ancient treasure map discovery book or whatever, and it's glowing. It's like in a cave, and it's like zzz, zzz, zzz. It's radiating. We looked at that book instead of looking at the trauma that they caused. Sorry, I gotta start with this. Our ancestors, going back to the tribe of Judah, going back to the Igbo tribe being one of the last tribes left, this goes back to them knowing about MK Ultra. MK Ultra is one of the longest standing tools and known, how do I say, contradicting efforts. Because when people, there's two stories here. Let's just say some people went into the caves because they got condemned away from everybody else because they were committing atrocities against the human race. They got sent to the Cain. They were the sons of Cain, and they got sent to the Caucasus Mountains. There could be those, but then there's another timeline where people would say that the Egyptians created another group of people to become enslaved here on Earth. And, you know, they say Egypt is about 400, 500 years ago because they talk about it like the Bible was just a couple hundred years ago. Like, it's not. Okay, we can go back because, like I say, the Bible is not really the Bible. They take these things all the way back from the beginning, the creations, cave drawings, and all this stuff like that. From pyramid drawings and pyramid artwork and all this stuff. They take all that stuff and they learned MK Ultra from all the way back then. There's always been that one person that passed it down. Even though, like, you think you killed off everybody, you really didn't. Like, there's always that one person that ran and hid away and survived by any means necessary because they understood. They understood the means to keep the darkness going. If that understood, like if that they knew the risk, they were willing to take it, no matter if they had to sit in a cave by themselves for a whole year and have to starve off a body that was going bad for a whole year. Like, I'm like just getting visuals of these things from like things that were happening in the past, but now we go forth and we say, okay, our ancestors knew about these things. They knew about these things. They knew about these things. But then we go back to like how they made Tesla towers, and that's after they went and voyaged like Africa and stuff like that. They learned sacred knowledge and stuff like that. That's after they learned all that stuff. So what happened in that meantime? They were building things in order for us to forget. We think that it was so long ago, but then you have to think about Tartaria. We were still building great things. When was Tartaria? 1800s, 1700s, 1600s. When did slavery start? 1600s, 1700s. So it's kind of foggy about like, okay, what's actually going on? Because if Tartaria was here in the United States, and it was across the whole, like, Tartaria was another frequency, another people, but it was all the way across the world on the same. So it's like, it's in Russia, it's in Europe. Tartaria was here. We were the Tartars. We built great buildings. Did you ever go to New York City?
No, I never. I'm from Cali, and I didn't make my way over there yet. Okay. But I am.
Do you guys? I haven't been to Cali. I want to go to Cali so bad too. But you guys have like really big stone structures or big stone churches, like in California?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's everywhere though. They got the big stone churches that they built up and stuff.
okay, and like old buildings that you would like look like old apartment buildings that you would look at the side of, but they would have like bars on the window, and like the first floor is kind of like in the basement kind of thing, and you can kind of see out of a window, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
who kind of built that window there.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's like the top floor to another building that's been covered up by a mud flood. There was a whole great what deluge, that's the right word, deluge, like a mud
Yeah.
flood. Everything got frozen up, but they're not letting us know when this happened because that would invalidate their whole story. So I don't know. I know that slavery happened.
Mm-hmm.
What's the timeline though? This is the same thing. They split timelines. This is where
Of course.
it's things that were happening, but they weren't happening because at the end of the day, the same time the coronavirus was happening here in my earth,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't. I was unfazed by it. I'm not gonna say I was unfazed, and I don't want to talk too quickly because I know I'm covered. But my thing is, it wasn't on my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't near anybody on my timeline. So we had to talk about. There goes the red cardinal. I love it. So it just flew right in front of my car. So I'm just looking like, okay. So how do we say this? Like everything was a big split. There was multiple things going on. Like everything's a big mind fuck. Like everything's a big mind fuck. Like I don't even know how else to put it. Like the way that
No,
I'm
I
seeing
agree.
it,
For sure, I agree with you.
it's way too. It's like you can't keep track of your lives. You really can't keep track of your lives. It's really like a thing of the universe. Like you really can't keep track of your lives. Like it's really, really bad. Like, and if you think about it, it's like they've lied so much that everything is spinning out of control, out of proportion, where it's like going down the tunnel right now, and they're like, they don't even care that we're seeing anything right now because we're so distracted by everything that's going down the tunnel. They're running and heading for the hills again. They're running and heading for the hills to go and survive by any means necessary again. It's just that's happening. Everything is happening and it's repeating. But then again, there was timelines that we haven't passed before, and this is a timeline that we have newly reached, supposedly, that a lot of people are saying. I have done my research, and this is one thing that is saying that there's a lot of things, as you said, that you're lost. Let me just, sorry to go back, but there's a lot of things right now, and there's so much people who are on the other side. Let's just say that they think that they have their own God and they have their own population here on Earth because they have created their own Earth. I did not really want to say that. The timelines were merged, they were unmerged. They were merged, they were unmerged. They basically messed with the timeline and made 60 timelines, and then they collapsed right back into each other. There are things happening like that. Like, there's so many timelines that, like, it's like watching one of those movies that they mess with timelines, and because they mess with it so much, there's only one more thing that can happen, and that one more thing that can happen was the overall outcome that God always knew was going to happen, which was us. Because in reality, when we go into the age of Aquarius, they've tried to keep us out of the age of Aquarius because they know that the water bearer energy is everyone in that pot. All that water in there, all those cells that I was talking about before, that's we're getting poured right back into our reality. Like we might start back over.
I think that's what's probably going to happen, though, to be honest with you, because the world has been destroyed many times over. I don't think that it's necessarily the Bible or the Quran both have the answer, because it's been talked about through other ancient civilizations. I mean, no offense to people that, once again, take these religions and live their life by their code somewhat, because most people do not live by the code of the Bible nor the Quran. That's just a fact, unless they're like really hardcore, but the majority of them don't. But like the Bible says, let he without sin cast the first stone, so that makes sense. I'm going to kind of jump into multiple places. One thing I wanted to say earlier when you were talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, and the Igbo tribe. Now, the thing about the Igbo tribe is that when they were being colonized, it is said through the history of them is that pre-colonialism, that they did not see, when they came, they did not see these people as Jews. They said it's something that they actually adopted. And then when you see the birth of the Hebrew Israelites, that came out of what, the 1800s. So it's not something that was just always around. It was something that was just like, no, the Bible is talking about us and we're going to take this. And, you know, I can't think of the names. I'll have to dig a little deep, but you can look it up yourself. That the Israelites were started in the 1800s, like maybe early or late, is when people start declaring that we are the people of the Bible. But then once again, the trauma was already set, because slavery has at that point been going on for a few hundred years. So of course, if I was to take you, beat the hell out of you, tell you stories that you're a curse, yeah, okay, yeah, then I can see how you will believe that you must be the people from the Bible. But you can't sell an idea to me that God would sit back and let his children be punished for thousands of years. That right there don't make sense. And when I say thousands of years, you got to go, once again, the Arab slave trade, and then you got to jump over to the European slave trade. But slave trade was a business. And like a famous line from Anunnaki in the TV show American Gods, he said it's a cult. And I totally get what it means. It's a cult.
So much knowledge dropped in that show.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of him. They got rid of Anunnaki because he was dropping some serious truth bombs. He said, you know, slavery, he said, this is a cult. Human trafficking, it's a cult. What do you think they're doing with bodies and stuff like that? You think they just having sex with every single person they're trafficking? Man, the sacrifice is going on.
They just like how the Native Americans used every inch of an animal. The 13 bloodlines do the same as well. You think that person that stayed in the cave was that person who went out and clocked somebody over their head, wife, dragged them back to the damn cave.
Now that's what they showed the Neanderthals to do. Like, I don't know if we were doing that, you know. I mean, I think we were more polygamous, or I don't know.
That I had said something earlier, just like how that one person who did whatever they could to keep the darkness going in the past, because no matter how much time they tried to wipe it out, that one person just kept going back out and repopulating their bloodline. They chose, that one person had to sit there like an animal and pounce on a woman. Okay, that's not the right person, and that's still in predator status. And even if I don't even know. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I know words.
I got something that just popped in my head. Let me say it before I forget, not to cut you off. I just don't want to forget. Guys, I want you to think about this. Now, I'm not saying every single time that incest is practiced according to the Bible, right? So basically, there was not a lot of humans being made. So obviously, there was incest. Now, when you see this incest take place through cousins and royal families, and I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, they came out like a Mongol. You know, they came out like a Mongol. So if this took place, then it should be a whole bunch of Mongoloids all across the world, disfigured. And once again, I'm not saying every single time this happens, but the majority of the time when you look at a lot of the royal families, especially in Europe, and you see how they were inbreeding, and you see how they look all genetically like broken or crooked or something was off. So when I apply this story to human beings being made, it don't make sense. Once again, you know, just me being random, but that shit don't make sense. You know, it don't make sense. I mean, somebody said they came out like an alien, but what about the Dogon tribe? Are you familiar with them?
I know about them. I have so much things in my mind. Just talk about them a little bit. I'm just like, oh yes.
Okay, the Dogon tribe. They're from Mali. Now, this tribe knew about a star, a dog star or dark star called Sirius B.
They're the red people, right?
Who? The Dogons?
Yes, they have a lot of red clay on them, and their hair is like very reddish, like very red.
No, not them. No, not them. Not the Dogons. The Dogons are very interesting though, because what is said, they assume that they're the people that came out of Egypt when Egypt, or AKA Kemet, the actual name, when Kemet was being attacked. So what happened was that the Dogon had left and took all the knowledge with them, you know? And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I see you talking about the dolphin people. Well, they talk about these people called the Nomos that were half human, half fish. And they used to create these pods when the Nomos would come down from space because they had scaly skin like a fish, and that their skin would get dry. So they created these pools for them that are actually like thousands of years old or whatever, so forth, and that they use these pools to moisturize themselves. Now, the information that the Dogon had, nobody could believe, because they said it was almost impossible, because scientists didn't even know at that point about a dwarf star, Sirius
Okay.
B. And
Yep.
then when they did have the technology, after hearing these stories from the Nomos, they said, how is this possible? How is this possible that they knew this unless they were visited by somebody? They don't have any telescopes, so how could they even see something that they couldn't even see at that moment in time with technology? That, you know? And so
I
it
meant to
makes you,
say,
yeah, go ahead,
oh,
please.
one sentence. I meant to say something before because you had said something about how is the Bible real and how can it, like, if it was from just recently, how can it even go back? Because I'm saying, like, the Bible isn't real. Nothing is real. This is just a projection. We are literally not even living here right now. We're in the matrix. We are astral bodies. And they have learned how to hack into our zeros and one code. And they have made us visualize this instead of being free within the cosmos. So that's what I have to say about it. Nothing is real and nothing is fake. Like, that Bible is real, but it's fake because everything that's playing out is in the Bible, and everything that's in the Bible is playing out. So in reality, what's real? Who is somebody writing it in real time and it's just popping up in the Bible, or is it just happening? Like, who knows? Because I guess we're just not meant to know in that way. Or maybe we are. Just another level of knowledge, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to hit you off with some questions real quick. I'm going to give somebody some time to shine. I'm going to throw up some random Q&As. This is from Pistol. What do you think about BLM?
It's a cult with a capital T. A capital T across. It's a cult with a capital T. Okay? Like I say, they were siphoning energy since the beginning of the year. It was a big lead up. I was having this conversation with my sister just like 2 weeks ago. First person who died, Kobe. Oh my gosh. It wasn't a victim of violence, but it was something very impactful of adultual person. I don't think that's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word today. Somebody that everybody idolized. Okay. So that was one person. So all that energy that was already into his life had tripled when he died, because some people never know about people, but when they learn about people, oh my gosh, I knew him too, I'm gonna cry too. Okay. The energy tripled. Who was the next person? February. Pop Smoke. Violence. That was the duality right there. It was something that wasn't of violence, but then it was something of violence. Counteracting that energy right there. People are already into it. They're already mad. They're already sad. They're already confused. Okay, now it's March. Coronavirus. We're stuck in the house with our emotions. We can't go play basketball. We can't go dance. We can't do nothing. This was all a ritual. They knew what the hell was happening. They already knew. It was already happening around the world, but we just didn't know because we're stuck up in our own America. As much as we think that we're not censored from the world like how China is because they have their own servers, we're just censored. It's under a free will contract because that's how Luciferians have to act. That's how they have to move. Now we move on to April or May. I don't know when George Floyd and all that stuff happened, but that was the next thing. That was the next signal, and that was the fourth or fifth signal. When you talk about fives and changes, there was something else that happened, but I just don't remember. Something else happened. Somebody else had died, but it wasn't major. and it was somebody because of coronavirus. But that was the fourth thing, and then the fifth thing happened. It was George Floyd. The fifth thing that talks about changes, that talks about everybody going into this new change. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter wasn't even owned by Black people 4 months ago. It was owned by a. When we talk about the origins of the planet, please do not get mad at me when I talk in the context that I'm about to talk in, because in reality they manipulated everything. White people are white people, Black people are Black people, and I'm not racist, but in a way, they have infiltrated Black and white people to make it. That's after that. Okay.
Talk about it. Finish it. No, finish it.
Oh, wait. What did I? I'm sorry.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman. That's what somebody said died. Is that who you were talking about?
Oh, yeah. So right after that, they were basically siphoning all the energy. Black Lives Matter wasn't made by Black people up to 4 months ago. It was made by a white lesbian, and it was made by a lesbian. But let me just
sorry. Wait, did you say a white lesbian?
I'm sorry.
Really? I didn't even know. Is that true?
Yes. I'm using words in the context that they use. I'm not trying to, blasphemize anybody.
No, of course. No, I just didn't know. That's why I was like, wait, I didn't even know that.
Yes, it was a white person with half her head shaved off, and like half her hair was like greens and oranges, and like those people who are like, oh, I care about you, but like those people who they really love us, but they don't really love us. They just love the thought of us, like one of those people. So she was a very, very, very light-skinned mixed Black person who was not Black but Portuguese in the darker tone.
Got you.
So if you go back to the transhumanism and the trans agenda, yes, people can be trans in this world, but when you go back to their God Baphomet, he is a trans being. He has titties, a phallus. He has mix up of both genders.
Organs, so
of both organs. So they're basically following this whole thing. They're basically following the whole makeup of everything.
But hermaphrodites are real, though. I mean, they're not talked about, but they're also real, though. So they shouldn't be. Okay, got you.
Created the XXY gene as well.
Got you.
There are the natural hermaphrodites, but then they also created that XXY gene. They brought upon this planet the XXY gene because we had the XY gene. We had the XX gene, the girls and the guys. We also had that XXYY gene. That's what it would have been noted as a hermaphrodite. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think that's what it is. Okay. But they created and they're intertwined the XXY gene to basically, they've only done this in the past 60, 70 years when they started in vitro fertilization. So when they've been letting people choose if their kids are smart. They've been letting people choose their girls or guys. But that's why it's been so much money, because it's just like, once you get into these conversations with somebody, it's hard not to like, okay, well, I can add this to your child, I can do this. But if it's a Black couple coming back to the Black community, they have this technology in this doctor's office? Nah, that would have spread too quickly like wildfire. They can't even let us know that kind of...
what would be crazy? What would be even crazy when you say that? Like, what if they're like picking certain like minority individuals or selective kids from all neighborhoods, but like, oh, we're going to create like a 6'5" basketball player. We're going to create like a muscle bound Black man, like for football, and we're going to keep an eye on him when he's like, a junior in college, because they're already sharking for these people at an early age. It's billions of dollars invested.
They have that already. I'm
just saying, it makes sense, don't it? It makes sense, don't it? If you were a wicked person and you're farming children, you're going to start at an early age. I know when you were born. I know who your mama is. I know what high school you go to, and I'm just waiting in the background. That's business. What do they call them? Scouts.
Agents.
Yeah, man. Handlers. That's crazy. That's deep right there.
Yo, I got some, but I don't talk about them
Mm,
because at the end of the day, they can't do anything. They're powerless. They're powerless. But let's
mm,
just go back to what you just said. You wonder if they create. They don't have to because we create every day.
mm,
But they know who we are. The When I found out about this information when I was about 10 years old, okay, because let me just talk about this real quick. I'm 24, born
mm.
in 1996. By the time I was 4, I knew how to use a computer. But that's when computers still had the big back. You had to know how
Mm.
to get,
Yeah, yeah, for
all
real.
right,
Mm,
how to get into a computer, all right? By the time I was 10 and they made Google freely available, I've already knew most of the stuff that I know now. So my thing is, when you go to, as an angel, I don't know, I just get distracted by certain things.
no
Um,
worries.
I shouldn't be talking about that. Certain things, I'm gonna go towards something else. What am I gonna say? There is
Take your time.
my mind just totally got zapped.
No,
Totally
it's
got
okay.
zapped.
It's okay. You know, but
Um,
yeah, you drop some of the heavy stuff. I have that too sometimes, where my mind is going really fast and rapid. But there was also more deaths that took place. Besides Chad Boseman, there was what's his name? XX Temptation, who was also murdered when he was talking about frequencies and stuff like that. What's the other dude's name who died for taking pills off a plane? What's his name? I know you guys know. He downed a whole bunch of pills and died just before his album was coming out, I believe. Um, what's this dude's name? Jeez, not Kobe, man. You pills, man. Kobe didn't take no pills. The dude who took the pills, the rapper, he took the pills because he was on a plane. Was no, not
Juice WRLD?
Slum Juice World. There we go. Yeah, thank you. Somebody put
That's crazy.
Slum God, man.
But then he had the whole song about I don't like that song, and everybody's just like, you should love it because he made so much awareness of suicide. I'm just like, there's something in the energy of the
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah.
It's making me want to just call the suicide hotline, and I'm not suicidal. And I'm just like,
Mm.
energy they're putting out into this frequency of the world is
Little
absolutely
Uzi has that too. I mean, I'm guilty because the song is very
there's a fire
catchy.
right there.
A what? A
You see that?
fire? What happened?
You see that white box right there?
Yeah,
There?
yeah.
That's a tower. They just put that up in front of my house within the last 3 years. When we
Is
talk
that
about
wow?
frequencies, we're talking about frequencies.
Mm.
That's what I was about to talk about. Making children. I was being zapped by their EMF, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the EMF tower. Got you.
They were zapping the hell out of me this summer and the beginning of this year. It has stopped when I got more crystals. I got a lot of protection stuff. I basically sealed off my home. I sealed off my property. It doesn't radiate into it. And it happens. I had a frequency reader and it was off the charts only in my room.
Mm.
Only in my room. The whole side of my head was like literally going like this. Like my brain, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? But you're coming to take it down, leave it alone because they're up every 20 feet. They're up on every pole.
Well, they've been
Like
doing this everywhere right now. They've been dropping these towers everywhere, everywhere. Let
when
me
we were
drop.
in the house, we turned it on. They just said we turned it on. All
Um,
over the.
let me go ahead and get some of these Q and A's because there's a few I forgot to. Okay, I noticed after Kobe died, that's when everything started to get worse. What do
I
you
think
think
that
about that?
he knew a lot. There were people. Everybody in how everybody. This goes back to the other question. Everybody in Hollywood knows each other. If
Of
you're one
course.
of the you're one of the 13 bloodlines. It doesn't matter if they don't like melanated people. We are the 13 bloodlines as well. No matter how we are those family members that they don't like.
Hmm.
Okay, So what they do to us is they expose us, they exploit us, they traffic us, they do whatever they can to make as much money off of us to keep the money in the family. Do you understand that?
Mm.
So when we talk about them making people and them doing all that stuff like that, let me just be careful with what I say though.
Yeah, be careful.
They've been, I've been followed. I've been followed, but
Yeah.
I know I have handlers and agents. Most of you guys, 71 of you have handlers and agents, and there's probably 3 people on here
Just an
watching
agent.
right now. They just drops. They're
Yeah.
probably watching now.
Yeah, of course. Oh,
Watch-
they've been probably with me for a long time, to be honest with you. I don't know who they are, what they are, but I always have I have the duality of fighting against good and bad, and it affects like my entire family. I remember some things that happened to me not too long ago. I mean, no, a few years ago. I take that back. Let's say 6 years ago. I was going through, maybe even longer, some turmoil. And what was happening to me seemed that it was amplifying throughout my entire family, man. People died, people were fighting and arguing because it was just weird. But when I came back, for example, to the States and, called up certain family members that were not talking to each other, I was like the center. Everybody was good with me. Everybody, no matter what, who was arguing with who, I could, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, what's up, nephew? Or whatever it is. How you doing? Give me a call. It was just like all of a sudden it was like peace, And I'm not saying I'm like the most important person in the family. That's not true. I'm just saying that we're all connected so much. And if you're a person with a voice in the world, if they can't get to you, or if they do get to you, they're gonna make sure it ripples right down to the rest of the family members. Things are gonna get bizarre,
Well, let me just say that they have infiltrated my family, and I see it on massive scales. But the power, like I say, the power of being an original person on this planet can trump anything that they'll ever try to do. Most of you guys are MK Ultra victims, and you guys don't even know it. Most of you are very robotic that you've learned in school because your teachers were your you guys don't remember half of the days you had in school because you sat there behind a TV stuck like this.
That's true.
You stuck there. Stuck.
Programs.
And you're still program, matrix, computer. Where are we? You don't even know. So my thing is, it still goes back. It still goes back and back and back that we have been handled and handled and handled. When did this start? There goes the red bird again. Since the dawn of time. They learned how to tap into the MK Ultra frequency. But now they're doing it on a massive scale because they're still trying to be greedy. At the end of the day, we still have these towers and lines because they're still trying to be greedy. They can be going off of these Tesla towers and have everything spread out, energy free and everything, and still kind of, create and trap up that energy. But they're still trying to be greedy. They're materialistic as hell. They try to keep us. They have rules that is universal laws that they have to follow. Everything.
They have to tell you. They also got to tell you. They always tell people in movies. Just let me chime in real quick. If anybody remembers the original Total Recall, now okay, even if you saw the more modern one, it's almost the same thing where they show him at one point where he's like walking through like an airport or something like that, and when he walks through, because of terrorists, that the whole body is shown as a skeleton to see if he has like weapons on him. And then fast forward in the future, just like flat screens. We used to see that shit in movies. I'm like, man, get out of here. There's no such thing. A flat screen? Bro, that shit ain't real. Nobody got no flat screen. That's fake. They can't make a flat screen. What happened? Flat screens. And then cell phones. We didn't have them, but they always showed you in the movie, like, what the hell is that? What is he on? Then cell phones came. So they're always showing us something to happen. Something's bound to happen. They got to show you. It's a part of the ritual.
If you have an old movie, you can prove it to yourself right now.
Yep.
All you need is 15 seconds of your time. Pop the DVD in, pop the VHS in, and read the Surgeon's General Warning. First is the green screen, then it's the black one. What does the black one say? P in a box. Planned programming. So it's tell you what is, and that screen used to come on with every movie, but they stopped putting it on after like 2010. Like when people started doing DVDs, started reading a lot quicker, started moving a lot more into the energy of the age of Aquarius, when things were kind of shaky, the timelines were kind of like this. They took it out. They took out a lot of information that was already out there, so they didn't have to put it out there again because they were doing it all this time. They were just like, oh, all right, well, we can just start doing something else because they haven't reacted to this all this time. Now we can just continue to do what we're doing. So they've been planned programming you this whole time. Your kids, your grandmas, yourself, everybody, your dog. It's in every movie. It's in the beginning of every movie.
Facts.
And they and some shit too.
What's your thoughts? This is also a random, we're both random, don't worry. What's your thoughts on Planned Parenthood? Or you'd rather not say that one? No. I could step away from it, but I'm just curious, because I was brought up with a lot of facts, how they say it's kind of strange that they're in a lot of brown and black neighborhoods.
Let me just tell you this. Planned Parenthood was started by one of the Rothschilds.
Rothschilds?
Yes.
Was it?
It was started by one of the fathers. That was the most recent one, like the 1940s or like the 1930s or something like that. And then they had a kid, but the kid is like not out there in the public. But they also have another kid who has a name that's changed. That's a celebrity. I just can't put the name to it right now. I really can't. Because a lot of these celebrities are Rothschilds, but they just changed their name. Like Ellen DeGeneres. She's she's like a third generation Rothschild, but she just changed her name.
Wow.
Real name.
I didn't know that.
What you call it? Huh?
No, I was just... Go ahead.
Planned Parenthood. That was just another way in because they knew when we talk about slavery, we couldn't get housing. And then you talk about Raising in the Sun times in 1960s where people were just getting their houses. They were just getting comfortable, but then they were only getting paid but so much they couldn't feed a whole family. But people still had huge ass families because then the 1800s was just right then, just like how we're like in 2020, but we still have family members. My grandmother was born in 1937. She's still alive today. Thank you, Lord. But my thing is, it was still like that back in the 1960s. They still had family members that were slaves. You understand?
Right.
So those families were huge. Imagine all those family members that got freed. Okay, I'm just talking in context, So like, let's talk about let's just say that they didn't have all these houses, and then the brainwashing started then. And it was just like, okay, keep your kids to a 1 and 2 basis. Oh, only have the girl and the boy, the perfect family. They kind of made that into the American dream structure. The husband, the wife, the girl and the boy, or the husband and the wife and the 2 boys. You wanted the 4 thing. Maybe you had a 5 family structure, but that wasn't really the main thing. Bill Gates' father. Bill Gates. Thank you. Bill Gates' father made Planned Parenthood.
Was that Bill Gates' father? No way. Wow.
Like I say, I do my research. I know so much that sometimes my words get jumbled. I didn't mean to say the wrong words.
No, it's okay. We all make mistakes.
Guys, don't believe me in anything that I say. Go do your own damn research. Honestly, go do your own research. That's the only thing that I can say. But Planned Parenthood was put here, and it became with the brainwashing. Oh, you should only have this much. So what happens to all the family members that you already have? Now it becomes subconscious. I can't have so many family members. So it became a hidden thing. Oh, now I need to get an abortion because I can't afford it. But then that became the mind of the mind of the black into the law of attraction of us attracting so much, because even though we were slaves, we're still happy. We're still in that juvenile in that juvenile energy. You understand what I'm saying? So it's more like they basically made us believe that we didn't need such a big family because it was a burden from when slavery happened. And then
no, not to cut you off. It says Margaret Sanger. Those were Planned Parenthood founders, and Ethel Byrne and Fania Mendel. So I'm not sure.
they're all related. They changed their names.
I wouldn't doubt it though. Yeah.
They've changed their names. There's records. If I find them, I'll find them for you and I will send them to you. Okay. Mm-hmm. But my thing is with that, like they basically went forward on that, and now it's in all the minority, quote unquote, population, populated areas. But because they were already eating kids from way before, this has become a legal way to do it. Because they throw out fetuses and it becomes medical waste. Who handles medical waste?
Those. Yeah, they need that in the medical field. They need the tissues and all type of stuff from these vaccines. I'm not sure. I can't say 100%. There's a rumor allegedly saying that vaccines allegedly contain aborted fetuses. Allegedly, so that they understand I'm saying allegedly.
That's why they take the umbilical cord and the placenta. They research in the stem cell on that. What happens to all the aborted kids popped up and messed up? Because when you talk about a bad kill, when you go hunting, you don't want tainted meat. It becomes bad. It's sepsis. You can't mess with a cut up thing. It's not gonna work. I mean, maybe you can use it for anatomy purposes, but you're not gonna be able to use it for stem cell purposes because it becomes sepsis. Like that's like regular body functioning things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know if that's true, but I know when you go hunting, you want to make sure you have a kill shot because you want your meat to be sweet.
Right. You don't want poison. Right. If it's hit the wrong way, then it's going to make all the meat spoiled. Right.
Doing an abortion, they have to cut. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for any senses. I'm sorry. Okay, right now, for anything that I'm saying. But they have to cut up the baby before they bring the baby, they vacuum the baby out.
So I saw that. Yeah, that blew my mind. I never knew they did that while it's alive. I did not know.
While it's alive.
I didn't know, man.
Same process in how adrenochrome is made. Because they keep the baby alive. They do the arms, they do the legs, and then I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, keep it. Yeah, go.
They do the arms, they do the legs, they keep the body and the head because look, that's the heart, that's the brain. It's still pumping right there. Even though it's not that much circulation going within itself, but it's straining on its last end. Then at the last minute, they pull it out. Then there's people who come and collect these things and pay for it at the end. There was an article and a video where somebody got caught paying for hundreds of thousands of stem cell. We'll call them stem cell, but where they get the stem cell for research is in the placenta and the umbilical cords. That's why they said that we can't have our own stuff. But they get the adrenochrome from little babies. They eat the little babies. You understand what I'm saying? So it's real messed up about all the things that they do, but it's like they're making it easier for them. As much as they say you shouldn't be doing this and this is illegal or you have to have a permit for this, they're laughing at us in our face because it's just like they really think that they need to be doing this. I mean, while we're eating their kids, like half of the kids that we think got.
I saw another video when you talked about videos where it was a guy undercover talking to people that worked in a clinic, and they were just asking, what can we get? And he was like, can I get legs and arms? And I mean, just while they're having dinner, or I'm sorry, they were having a lunch. I posted it on my page. They were having a lunch and they were just talking about it like they were selling car parts, for a Beamer or a Toyota. And I couldn't believe it. And they were just so casual, like, oh, whatever you need, we could supply you with it. It's not a problem. And I'm just sitting here like, what in the world would somebody need with the arm? The arm is it's not useful. You can't do nothing with the arm from a baby. Like, why would you need an arm? Why would you need a leg? And I'm sitting here thinking, unless you're like making some type of potion or some type of what do they call it? Yeah, potions. That's all I thought.
Yeah.
I thought immediately of witchcraft because there's no reason for a person to need um, a ligament from a child that's not here anymore because you can't use it. So what is the point of having it? I mean, what are they gonna
Um,
do? Pickle it? I mean, like it's crazy, man.
we then it just goes back to the mitochondrial DNA that they're trying to lock up right now. Because once we're locked at this state of consciousness, there is no heightening it. Because if people don't wake up now, it's going to be hard to ever wake them up after this
Mm,
point. And it goes back to them eating adrenochrome and then eating this stuff. And it's like, okay, wait, let's just continue to eat our fountain of youth and keep them dumb at the same time. Because if we were to keep evolving while they're still eating adrenochrome, it can't happen in the same timeline. They have
mm,
to keep us dumb in order for them to continue to do what they do, even though they're still telling us in encoded messages all day, every day.
mm. Okay, let me get to some Q&A real quick. We got some questions real quick, yeah?
Hmm.
I'm gonna jump on, put pistol up, and then we're gonna skip this and go to a couple more really fast. Opinions. Do you like Biden or Trump or neither?
I don't like Biden because there's evidence that he is a pedo and his whole family is. Once you're handled and once you're a handler, you know everything. Your whole family's within it. When your
Mm,
family, when you're toxic, I'm pretty sure like 75% of the time, I'm not gonna say 99 because there are people, but your
mm,
family's toxic too. You guys have a lot of the same toxic traits, and I'm not saying that, but it's because birds of a feather flock together in that kind of way. We go
mm,
down with our family, this kind of thing.
mm.
It's evidence
And
on him.
Trump?
Can't like him.
Trump.
Trump, I have done the research to try to find reasons not to like him, but my thing is, I still don't like any man. I don't put my faith in any man. So
Mm,
it's I don't like him or I like him because I don't, because people are fanatics over him, but
mm,
that's the energy of the magic, because they still placed him in his spot even though he is the person who's trying to set us free. Where Q, I understand. I try to be unbiased as possible. From
right.
Q, I try Q side. I try to understand the Christian side. I try to understand on this side. I try to understand on the conspiracy theory side. And it all goes back to them thinking that some of them think that he's Jesus reincarnate, or
Oh,
they
people
think that
tripping.
it. So it's just like that's
Right.
really not what. So let's just free ourselves and figure out what happens next, because we can't do anything in this world until everything in our families, everything in our houses is cleaned up.
Facts.
And that's really not understanding. So
Mm,
me liking Trump is really a reflection of a lot of people in their own homes. He's a
mm,
disgusting, even though he has good morals, because I could have good morals and I tried to have good morals all my life. But when I get into an argument with anybody, I can be like, "Oh, fuck you, you stink," or something like that. Like, I'm
mm,
not saying that I get nasty, but I could become a nasty human being,
mm,
and that's what he shows you. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be on that side, because he could make a choice on not to go towards those words, because I have made a choice not to go towards those words. But my thing is, he's the president. He could do whatever he wants. And at the end of the day, like I said, he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to end up freeing us, and then tomorrow he's just like, you know what? Fuck this. They keep just trying to kill me. I'm going to just walk away from it all.
mm.
Can't put all faith in one person. And this is why so many people, and black people, let me say, and many white people got mad and happy that we didn't get our powers on December 21st, because a lot of the things, it's if and it's just certain things have to happen before other things happen, and they didn't happen because the reactions of what's happening right now, like everything is a test.
Mm.
And
Facts.
I feel like people are losing the test on who they're supposed to be choosing right now. Because I literally was so mad because I walked into the voting thing and I'm just like, damn, I don't want to vote for either of them. Who am I going to vote for? I'm always green. So let's just go independent or something like that. Or let's write myself in on the ticket. I walk out there, I should have wrote God on the ticket. I could have put my name on the ticket. Everybody could have wrote their own name on the ticket, because everybody, when I started having these conversations with them, they were just like, oh, I don't like either of them, but I'm going to choose the lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils, same government.
Thinking that it was biased. Those videos of him touching little girls.
You saw those videos? Yeah, I was trying to tell people, but they didn't believe me. I'm like, yo, you don't see this? That don't make you nervous that he's trying to... But that's a president. That's a president.
They put a compilation together. It's called "I Sniffed a Girl."
Yeah, that's terrible, man. I seen the compilation. It's crazy. Okay, let's get to some more. I have two more questions. If you can, try to answer them like very fast so I can get to the Q&A. Tell me good thing, bad thing that you like about either Kamala or Obama, or there's nothing that you like at all. You just think of puppets, boule. Are they boule or no boule?
I like that I was invited to Obama's inauguration when I was like 12. So I went to Philadelphia and it was like millions of people on the thing. It was a good experience.
But did he do great things for
he signed
the people, put it that way?
He signed many contradicting bills. He signed many what are those things? He signed many
laws?
No, covers. Like say I'm doing this back here, but he signed.
Oh yeah, he was backsliding. Paper. Well, not backsliding, but yeah, he was
signing this paper.
Geez, I know the word for that. Geez. Well, you can just say he was being hypocritical. That's one thing, I guess.
Yes. Okay, and Kamala isn't black. She is not black.
I didn't say it.
She's from India. Her father, like I said, they're all handled and they all know each other from who knows where, from the pits of hell. Who cares? They all know each other from when they're young because it goes down to daycares. A lot of the people who are in private daycares are all celebrities. That's what they've done. They just basically molded them to be the people that they wanted them to be, split them up around the world, and made them forget about what it looked like. Kamala was a senator in India at the age of 17 years old. The only way you could become a senator in India,
I didn't know that,
is by being a citizen, an original citizen, not a dual citizen, an original citizen of India. She was a senator. And she was a news, what is it called? A news reporter for a series.
Yeah, anchor. Right. I didn't know that. Okay, let me jump to some of this. Yeah, she boule. They all boule. Okay, we're going to go to, boom. This is Kivinity King. Do you guys think that the government is going to self-destruct? I personally don't think so. Unless when the planet is wiped out, then yeah.
I just feel like maybe they're going to do that blackout. Like I say, we can't have too much faith in Trump, but there are many things which boils down to, like I say, those many timelines that boil down to those 1, 2, or 3 scenarios happening at the end. And one of my first scenarios is the sky turns red, the scroll opens up, and God says, look at everything you guys have done, and we all have been smited somewhere. The second thing,
God is going to open up and be like, my nigga. No, I'm just kidding. And I mean Negus, niggas, not the other way. The sovereign king of Ethiopia, Negus.
My nigga Damas.
Yeah. It's like, I'm here. Yo, has his hat twisted to the back, like, yo, what's good?
Y'all been wilding down here. What's
Talk to us in our language and stuff. Y'all wilding, son. Like, for real, that would be an incredible experience. Okay, let's get to the. Oh, go ahead.
God, is that you?
Yeah, that gotta be God. You looking up? You like, for sure, that's God. But if he comes back like he, thou, with thou, if and thou, you know it's fake. If they start talking with this weird English accent, you know it's all fake. You know,
Well,
Project Bluebeam.
my neighbor is not gonna hear him like I am, but we both heard the same thing. Y'all
Mm.
fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. That's all we gonna hear. Y'all fuck. Y'all know you fucked up, right? Yeah, you fucked up.
The next scenario that can happen is that Trump does do this 8 days of blackout media type thing because they drop a EMP on the United States and they shut down all electronics, cars, and but they basically go on a national the emergency
He gonna.
emergency.
You guys gonna probably get martial law. He needs an excuse. Martial law. If he pulls the trigger, the election is over. He's got to claim martial law. That's it.
Everybody has left New York. Everywhere is boarded up in New York. So people keep saying that New
Still?
York. I'm not. There's like the offices, those big offices where people do
they
those
closed.
big. That
Yeah,
people
yeah.
people working from home. Yeah, New York might get bad, but those people are already in their bunkers. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The people
Well,
in-
I think what's going to happen is, this is a personal opinion. I'm not going to say how, but I really feel like there's going to be a flood that hits New York. Like, you know, a wave of water, something. It has to be catastrophic, you know, the way they plan everything, you know, like a New Orleans type situation. So that's why they built that big ass door. I forgot where. It's a big metal door, not a door, but like that blocks a tunnel, but it's a huge metal door. You know what I'm talking about? Like, let me
they
call.
started putting them up in our subway services. They started putting these deadbolt doors, like because like just like how it's circled, just like how you explained it. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
these big circular doors that were never there before coronavirus, and because people weren't really riding the trains like that, because New York is always busy,
Yep.
people didn't see the installation of those. But those are to keep out big amounts of water. So
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Water, man. They listen. I mean, I'm not
New
allegedly. I
York,
believe by some act of something. I'm not saying who. I'm not gonna say what. I'm just gonna say nature is gonna take its course in New York, because the New York is one of the biggest stages for the world to see. Cali is too big, too massive. It wouldn't have that impact. But if New York was to have something, let's say like New Orleans when levees broke, oh, that's worldwide attention, 24/7, everything.
no, it's not. It's not because they're not trying. The fair needs to be controlled. Order out of chaos. Or
Mm.
so this is what was tattooed on George Floyd's chest. Out
Is
of
that
order,
true? Man, I thought somebody photoshopped that, man. You're not capping right
order,
now, are you? You
order,
sure?
order of chaos.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at
It's
this, man. Hold
different.
on.
It's not going to say order out of chaos, but that shit says, and what they're doing right now, they're having controlled chaos. All right. You don't even know that the three major dams that keeps the water out of China's major cities has busted 3 months ago,
Yeah, I
and
heard about that. Right.
they all were they were undergoing cannibalism. That's why all the freaking supermarkets and stuff like that, they barely had stuff, and that's why they try to make our farmers stop farming when it was the end of our season, and they said that, oh, it can be contracted and all stuff, when it really could have just been careful, because in
Mm.
reality, when it's food and they don't want the world to go into a whole thing, there's people that they can control and keep them, isolated within themselves, maybe together. And if I'm coming up with little solutions, I know that they can. So my thing is, China's dams busted, went over all their major cities, all
Hmm.
over their major crops. Their things are flooded out. You cannot go on YouTube or Google and type this in. You have to go on Translator, type
Hmm.
it in, translate it to Chinese, type it in Google, and read to read articles, because you cannot type in China's dams busted. But once you
Hmm.
put it in Chinese and then put it on YouTube, boom, flood of videos, flood of people doing TikToks. Oh my gosh, everything's destroyed. We are going under famine. There are volcanoes exploding everywhere. There are
Really? Did you hear
earthquakes.
about the fake moon that they got already? I saw somebody put it up, but I heard they already released the fake moon in China. That's true.
The fake sun. Yeah.
The fake moon, fake sun. Yeah.
And the moon has been. My intuition was telling me because the moon every year where I'm sitting right here, I'm in my driveway. The moon sits right above me to the back, so I can get on my car and I can look this way. The moon is right back there. By the time it gets like 12 o'clock, it's already on the west side because back here is the east, in front of me is the west. The moon has just been sitting right here to me. So this is east, west. This is the south. The moon has been sitting in the south for the last 2 weeks. And no, for the last 3 days. And before that, I had the Starlink app. The moon was sitting below us near South America. It wasn't even up here. So I'm just like, what is going on? So it's just like, yes, they have multiple suns. And I feel like, well, Nepsiti is coming in close right behind our sun. We don't even have a sun anymore because I feel like they freaking merged into one or something like that. The sun is so damn bright. It's over. We're literally moving to a new molecular stage. But like people who are just even looking for this research, me, you, even if we think we're not even at the highest points of knowledge, we're still going to receive our powers. Because at the end of the day, there are people who are still in that low bogged down vibrational energy that you can't blame them for because they're all MK Ultra'd and they might miss it. But those are people who got mad, didn't get their powers. That's what I meant to say earlier. So they have these moons, they have these things, they're trying to manipulate the tides of the energy that's being the planet right now. They're trying to suck out energy out of Nibiru. They're trying to suck out energy out of Nefsiti. They're trying to suck out energy out of the moons from up there too. So I'm just like, whatever they're trying to do, they're either trying to counteract what CERN has done by creating an external Earth. So this is what that split. I don't know if everybody's seen that video that they're talking about how there's like a billion-old planet and then there's like a 6,000-year-old planet. But the CERN one is the one that they created, the 6,000-year-old planet. Maybe they're trying to counteract something by, making it, they're creating a universe and then blowing it up at the same time simultaneously to, that ending and beginning has to happen at the same time. Damn, that popped up. It just got downloaded simultaneously. And I'm not trying to get on this, and because at the end of the day, they listen to us. They listen to your recordings. Anytime somebody comes up with energy because they know that we get things channeled into us, they listen. So everything is happening simultaneously. They know that everything is happening simultaneously right now, and maybe this is why they have like this big atom sitting right here in the middle of the universe, because we are the middle of the universe. Because when it goes back to, I was like 10 years old, I was in science class. I love science, but where we were in the Milky Way was not in the far arm of the Milky Way. We were in the Milky Way. Now, when you look at a map of where we are in the Milky Way, we're out in a far arm, like one of those little spirals. So it shot across the universe. Or did they figure out where we actually are, or what's actually going on? Because they're moving us, or they're trying to move to the best place that we can, but in reality, we're still the center of the universe. We're still the only humans in this plane and planet, because it's flat and circle. So I don't know.
Do me a favor. I want you to drop your link to your page in the comments so I could post it up. I'm going to get something to eat. I want to bring you back on because I will be coming back on because I'm off today. So I got time today. So I'm going to do some more lives. I got a special live coming on at 4 a.m. And you're more than welcome to come back on. But I want you to come on as one of the regulars because I have some people that are regulars. So I definitely wanted to get you on here as a regular. So please drop your info right here. Guys, I will be back on after I eat, take some substance from my body. And we're going to continue this. I want to definitely set a date, maybe even have you come back on either later or tomorrow for sure. And we're going to continue with some stuff because I got to get my questions for you. Usually I have a script, but when I go off the top and just, invite people in, I don't need a script. I never have a script. I have a line of questions. So, but you know, definitely, I'm going to pick some topics. You could give me some topics you would like to talk about, and I know 100% a lot of people like what you were talking about for sure. So, drop that information. Let people
I got
follow
you.
you so that you could do some lives as well. And we're going to bring you back on here. Are you
I
typing it?
appreciate it.
No, no
Yeah,
problem.
I keep typing it. It keeps getting lost because everybody else is typing at the same time too. But I really appreciate you, adding me to your live, because sometimes I try to, go on some people's live and they're kind of like, oh, well, we already have a club, so I'm not really going to
Really?
let you.
Nah, I don't
Not,
have that, man.
I feel the energy. It's not you. I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
you can feel the energy even amongst certain spiritual people.
Yeah, they're
But
not trying to hear like me. I rather me, I honestly bring people on. It doesn't matter if they're good at speaking or not. I just like talking to people and get different ideas. And if it clicks, then it works. And like I said, sometimes it's just the point of people just catching me on live or something like that, or hitting me up like, hey, sometimes spontaneous sometimes is better than planned. Like when things get planned, for example, like we had this conversation, I will
mm-hmm.
plan like a topic, or you'll say, hey, I want to talk about this. Then I'll have a lot of notes that I'll put on the side just to ask questions, to keep the conversation going. And then we do Q&A, let people speak as well. But it's important for me that everybody teaches, because the problem is when you have somebody people look up to, as they call a so-called prophets here on earth, prophets are easily killed. But when you start sharing the information versus just trying to be the teacher and the leader, you create leaders. They don't need to be led by nobody. They're just a natural born leader, as we were when we were born. Without our parents and with our parents and our mother, we get the knowledge and survival skills or whatever, so forth. But then you become independent. So the thing is, for people like myself, you, and everybody else that's here in this room, is for people to be individual leaders. The more individual leaders we create, the more we cannot be stopped. That's the problem. People are like, when is the next Malcolm X, the next Martin Luther King? And I'm like, you didn't get it yet? It's easy to stop a movement when you got one person to kill. It's hard to stop a movement when there's millions of people to kill. So that's why not having one solid leader, that's not the foundation, having a leader. Everybody needs to be a teacher. Everybody needs to individually lead. You can't kill everybody. And if they do, we're all aware of what's happening. We don't need you to come preach to us on Wednesday about what we should be doing, because we all have the knowledge and we got the technology. They gave it to us. So we could lead. No, we could teach each other to be independent leaders. Now we have power. That's powerful. You can't kill the numbers, because we all are focused on it. We could see a million miles away. So that's the credit you got to give the European Jews. You got to give them the credit. Some people don't give them credit, but listen, I got to give them credit. I'm not talking about what you see going on in the world or diamonds and whatever else in technology. I'm talking about they stick together no matter what. If they family, nobody in somebody's family that's Jewish is broke, usually. Usually. I'm not saying every last one. There's the exceptions. But if you look at a Jewish family, if their uncle got money, they eating. They all eating, nieces, nephews. They got money they put on the side for when they turn whatever age. Listen, they eating. Look in New York, they got a whole community. They even got their own police.
I live right in the middle of this shit. Trust me, you don't gotta tell me.
Yeah.
I live this side of the train tracks, and they live on that side of the train tracks, and they are wild on the weekends. All right, they don't walk in the street. They're trying to drive, because I'm not trying to come off disrespectful, but if this is a busy area, you don't walk in the street, even though you're not supposed to be stepping on man-made things and stuff like that. It's for your safety, so you don't get hit with a car. They do things like that fast out here. Okay, so trust me, I understand on a high level.
Yeah, you got to give them their credit, because they stick together. And one thing I love about a lot of Mexican communities as well, and don't get me wrong, Black people, they stick together, but not like we should. You will see it in Mexican communities. Like, you can't put 10 Black people in the same house too long. Some shit gonna happen. I'm not saying this is the case all the time, but it. What I love about the Mexican hustle, and I don't mean it out of disrespect. I mean it. I admire how they can have family members get under one roof, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, yeah," making fun of that shit, and they're stupid. You know why? Because they're saving up money. 10 people in one house, your rent is what, 800, 1,000? They paying pennies while stacking up, while buying their car, while buying another property. You understand what I'm saying? Buying a business.
Absolutely, yep.
The food is bomb. They got damn near feast every night and shit. They got, abuela or you know what I mean, up in the kitchen, got grandma and the moms and them cooking up a big family dinner, talking about their day at work, everybody eating.
It makes sense though, because
yeah,
at
man,
the end of the day,
it's smart.
Because if say I have an extended family, my grandmother, and then it's my sisters, my brother's kids, and then it's me and my mom. So say me and my mom put in $20 each. Then it's my sister's kids. So then we put in extra money. She puts in extra money for them too. So then it's like $40 right there. So that's already $80.
Yep.
And that's already money spent on fast food for yourself. Okay, this is money. Then we have my brother's kids, right? Let's just say that he sends $15 for two of them. Okay, that's $95 for a meal for one day. People end this stuff on fast food every day instead of just completely just feasting out every day when they have that chance. People, even though people say they can't afford it. But like I say, that all boils back because now we're being forced. God put us on timeout, or whatever the higher being may be, put us on timeout to figure out our family shit. And we had to deal with it. Because without us being able to point the finger at somebody else, we had to make sure our own self was good. And a lot of things were happening and unfolding the way that they were. And it's very sad to say, because you see that the path that a lot of people have chose, and their family members and your family members and my family members and whoever. Some people you probably never see again just because that's just the frequency that they're on and that's the frequency that you're on. But people just have gone. Some people have gone to the other side and they chose that side on purpose. So, I mean, you can't really do anything until your family's cleaned up, until you know who is who and who you're living with. But that's when things will really start turning around.
Yeah, man. Unity is important, but that's the whole point of destroying unity in the family homes and all this stuff like that, man. But like I said, man, I got to give it to my Mexican brothers and sisters, man. I mean, like, I have a lot of respect, you know what I'm saying? And it's just unfortunate that we all suffer the same consequence when it comes to the system, gang violence, but I definitely respect people that turn around their lives and, like, use the knowledge that they had for something that was probably considered not as great. And then they turn their wrong into a right and wound up doing something incredible, getting other people off the street, stopping people from gang banging or uplifting their community, helping out the elders, or, there's so many great stories of people that changed their life around. So I got to give them respect too, people that fall victims to the inner cities, And guys, yeah, this is always saved. Somebody was telling me, like, I don't save the videos. These videos are usually saved. They're in the IGTV part of Instagram. So you just got to click the little TV box and you'll see it there. And the video that I just did with you, I'm going to chop it up and I'm going to definitely put it on the page. And I'm going to be coming back on, like I said, to do more interviews. And what's your name once again? I'm sorry.
My name is Alex.
Alex. Okay, I won't forget it, Alex. And put your handle right here so I can pin it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get something to eat, some substance. And then after that, guys, I'm going to be coming back on, man. We're going to run this shit all night long. I'm going to have a lot of great conversations, bring a lot of people on here. Yeah, this conversation was amazing, man. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for, again, for the conversation, for the exchange of knowledge. This was a very good conversation. Yeah, and man. I was going to have this conversation, but I'm just like, Yeah, I usually have these conversations all the time, but it was a good one. It was a really, really good exchange this time.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to meet like mine. And yes, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. I don't knock people that eat meat. That's your preference. Let some shit happen in the world. Believe me, it's gonna be chicken sandwiches. It's gonna be chicken sandwiches, something.
I'm going to my backyard to go get something to eat. Y'all can fight and go cannibalistic, but
yeah, I'm not eating no human. Yeah, I would. You know what? You can eat insects though. Insects will be healthy for you. If you can't get vegetables, insects would actually be a healthy choice.
I have to go through that mental, that whole nother karmic relationship within itself, because me and the crickets, because I'm like, I gotta eat you, but I'm not about to eat you.
It's like either you're gonna survive or not. You know what I mean? I'm saying if it was the last resort, and I had a choice, you got to do it sometimes. I mean, hey, there's an Indian dude that said he didn't eat in years and he just meditated and drank no water. So you never know. Maybe it's possible. You feel me?
They said that there was somebody who fell down a hole. I was watching one of those like mystery stories or something like that, and somebody was like alive for a whole month after they went hiking, and they fell down like a hole or something, and their wife or something couldn't find them. So the wife went out, got help. They came back, still couldn't find them. They were searching for a whole month. And then somebody else went hiking and they heard somebody like yelling. A whole month later. So, I mean, you never know what your body can do. Your body starts eating on itself before I guess you can start eating on somebody else.
Yeah, man. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I heard it's probably messed up to talk about this story, but there was a really crazy story about a guy that went through this cave, and he was like, it's like these crawl space caves where you try to get through these little narrow areas. I don't even know why somebody would do something like this. It's so stupid. But anyway, the dude was going through this cave, because they used to go through it when they were younger, but he was older and bigger, and he got stuck. And they closed the cave ever since then, because like I said, you got to crawl. It's like you got to inch your way through, literally. And it was really crazy because he got stuck and they couldn't help him. They didn't have the technology, nothing. They couldn't pull him out. They couldn't grease him out. So he literally, and to this day, his bones, I don't know if they got his bones back, but the guy's body remained there because there was nothing they could do. I said, wow, that's just really crazy, man. It's really crazy, man. So whatever you do, if the world gets crazy, don't crawl through no caves, man. Don't do it. Don't even do it for fun, fam. Stay out of caves, man.
I'm going to go find a garter. I don't know.
She said a garter.
I'm gonna go find the Lemurians and the Mayans that still exist today. Okay.
Yeah, man. A lot of the Aztecs and Mayans, man, they still there. They didn't leave. I don't know why people think they gone. Oh yeah, okay, my bad. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, because I know I got a couple of homeboys. Shit, my Mexican homeboys, they come from this lineage. They still there.
Okay. I believe you. Sarcasm.
Yeah, man. Okay, so we're gonna chop it up though. Thank you for coming on. Yeah. Do me a favor, send me a DM, because send me just like, hey, it's me, Alex. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, send me a DM so I can lock you in for sure.
All right, I got you. All
right. I'll talk to you later, Alex. Thank you for coming in. Hey guys, man, I'm gonna see you later. I'm tapping out. See you, Alex. Bye. I'm gonna come back on a little bit later, guys. So definitely we could chop it up. Get some more of you guys to come on here. We could speak. I look forward to having some great conversations later on. So I really appreciate you. Give Alex a follow. You can see it right there. I'll give you like a couple of minutes so I could get something to eat, man. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It always makes me feel great knowing that you guys come through, show a lot of love, and are patient with me, because send it to me, Black. And the other girl, I believe it's a girl. Hopefully you're a girl, because I don't want to get your gender wrong. I'm scrolling up to see if I could find you, if you're still listening, because you said you wanted to come on. So later on would be a good time after I eat. Chill for a second. I don't see you. Oh yeah, there we go. I think it's Crush'em. Crush'em Geo. Be sure to send me a DM, and yeah, it would be nice to get you on as well. Yeah, there you go, Crush'em. Oh, Mel. Okay, yeah, I can't see because the profiles are really small. My bad. So yeah, Crush'em. My bad, dude. So yeah, just send me a DM, fam. We're gonna get you on here. I definitely will be back on later, and we could continue. You know, and like I said, I'm gonna be posting up a story because I'm gonna have a brethren come on, but it's gonna be like at 4 a.m. my time. But we're gonna be talking about, you know, some more Obeah, what's happening in the world, African spirituality. You know, definitely about the Bible because that's what we do. So I'm gonna see you guys a little bit later. And I look forward to speaking to you guys on IGTV Live. Peace.